At the time, I had my own laboratory, and I was doing independent academic research. There was a kind of a little frisson of doubt about whether the verdict was right. A lot of people thought he'd been murdered. Several people rang me up, a couple of journalists and a couple of forensic specialists. I was sent the bare facts of the case. I was really asked as an outsider to present a sort of an objective view of what the evidence suggested, how Freddie Mills had died. And to this day, the case has puzzled me. Freddie Mills's body was found dead in suspicious circumstances the 25th of July. He was in London, in Soho, at his club at the time, inside his car. His body was sitting mortally wounded with a fairground rifle, and there'd been a single shot to his head through his right eye. One of the key witnesses, a friend of his who ran a fairground shooting range, said he did borrow this rifle. And the police found that Freddie Mills was prone to having bouts of depression. And so, inevitably, the coroner's inquest conclusion was that he'd committed suicide. And yet, curiously, everybody who knew him was unanimous that that man certainly was not the kind to go and kill himself. Freddie Mills was by now British champion. He was loved by all. He was a true national treasure. And yet shortly after the Harvey fight, and he wrote about it in his book, he said he began to experience severe bouts of depression. Try as he might, he simply couldn't shake it off. Now, why was this? It could be, of course, that he was becoming depressed because of psychological reasons. But there may be another answer. It could be that it was due to brain damage. You've got this bifurcated argument. On the one side, the proponents of boxing would say, this is the path to fame and riches and success. On the other side, you have brain surgeons who would say, but they stand in the ring in public, pummeling each other's brains to bits.
If you make a model brain from gelatine, then fill up the model skull cap with water as a substitute for brain fluid, you've got a reasonably accurate working model of a brain. Hit the skull with a boxing glove, and you can observe the blood vessels and nerve strands get strained and torn across.
He did begin to develop chronic headaches, doubtless caused by his boxing career. In a witness statement to police, his wife Chrissy said that on the day he died, he had been suffering from headaches. The only evidence we have of Freddie Mills suffering brain damage was his recurring headaches, but they could have been due to stress anyway. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Freddie Mills did the last dozen or so of his fights against his better judgment. But knowing the lure to be one of the best boxers in the world was so overwhelming. He just had to carry on.